With our pro-American economic growth and the use of tariffs, we've already secured commitments for over $18 trillion. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. 53, think of that. 53 days it was at an all-time record, adding $9 trillion in value. We've slashed a record number of job-killing regulations, cutting 129 old regulations for every one new regulation approved. Today, more Americans in the prime of their life are part of a labor force than at any time since 2001.
That's the president in Rome, Georgia, yesterday, touting his economic success and the agenda, how it's lowering prices for everyday Americans. Small business owners met with the president before the speech, praising the administration's efforts to rein in costs and reshore American manufacturing. He got a standing ovation. Joining me now is Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, great to see you. Welcome back. You were with the president yesterday in Georgia. What was the reaction to the speech? Tell us about the atmosphere.
Well, Maria, it was truly an honor to join the president in Georgia and to show him what his economic policies are doing to lift up main streets across this country. I've been traveling for the last year. I see it firsthand every day. The president saw companies like Coosa Steel, where a small manufacturer of steel was hurt before he got into office. And now with tariffs have brought that company back, and so many others that I see across this nation. We heard from GMC Grocers that the tax cuts, the working family small business tax cuts, has saved their business. We hear story after story that his economic agenda is working for small businesses, and I was so glad for him to see it firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, I know that he'll be talking about that at the State of the Union on Tuesday night. Where else do you expect the president to zero in the speech Tuesday?
Well, Maria, look, the One Big Beautiful Bill has brought prosperity back to America. So if you look at the working family tax cuts, what it means for hardworking families, no tax on tips, overtimes, and Social Security, but it's an expanded child tax credit. It's a wider standard deduction. It's making permanent those small business pass-through deductions. It's permanent expensing. So all the benefits that are accruing to Main Street are creating more jobs, as we saw in the January jobs report. So when you hear economic data, I think about companies like Coosa Steel or Prince Manufacturing in Georgia that is doubling their manufacturing workforce. And this would not be possible without tariffs or the One Big Beautiful Bill. So I know in the State of the Union, the president's going to be delivering that message, and the American people are going to be seeing it in their tax refunds, because this president cares about the American people, American workers, and American industry, and you're going to see that in the State of the Union.
Yeah, he has said that, and we're looking forward to tax day to see what kind of refunds that people are going to get. Meanwhile, Kelly, the Small Business Administration is moving to end the primary loan program for non-citizens, now requiring citizenship from all applicants or from American nationals whose main residence is in the U.S. The SBA approved over 77,000 loans in fiscal year 25, worth $37 billion. What can you tell us about this move to zero in just on Americans, small business owners?
Well, Maria, it's common sense. Look, just as you were talking about, Americans should be the ones that are voting. Americans should be the beneficiaries of the Small Business Administration loan program. So it should be for American jobs, American businesses, and American workers. And last year, we moved to ensure that our loans were only going to citizens, that we were moving our offices out of sanctuary cities to keep our employees and our small businesses who want to come into our office safe. But most importantly, this is just a common sense measure that the American people want to see, that their tax dollars are not supporting the ability of non-citizens to get resources that should be available to hardworking American small businesses who are our job creators on Main Street and who deserve access to these resources.
Well, I guess there's a finite amount of resources, and if
That's
you're
right.
giving it out to non-citizens who want to start businesses, somebody gets impacted, American citizens.
That's right. And Maria, last year we hit an all-time record in our 72-year history of $45 billion in SBA lending. And so you're right, it's finite. And we want to make sure that those job creators, like our manufacturers, the SBA just introduced manufacturers access to revolving credit. We've seen huge uptake because what you see in the data, the PMI data, that manufacturing is growing. You see construction hiring. We want to make sure those loans are available for economic growth on Main Street to restore the heartlands that have been hollowed out by bad policy. President Trump's positive pro-growth, pro-fair trade policies are bringing that strength back to America. And coupled with the One Big Beautiful Bill, we're going to see an economic boom like we have not seen in this country.
Wow. I mean, we talk so much about this incredible productivity boom that is underway right now. What can you tell us about the creation of small business? What kind of a pace are you seeing in terms of individuals starting small businesses today?
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Under President Trump, we've hit a record 36 million small businesses in America. They make up 99% of all businesses, and they create 2 out of every 3 new jobs. So you just saw the January jobs report. The private sector hiring was 170,000. Those are small business jobs, and small businesses' optimism is at all-time highs, above its 52-year average. The number one concern they have, however, is they need a skilled workforce. And so that's a critical part of our economic growth, is getting people back into the workforce. President Trump, under his leadership, we're able to see labor force participation ticking up. Small businesses need that because, as I mentioned, manufacturers need those workers to come in, fill those extra shifts like we saw at CUSA yesterday, where they're now adding 2 shifts, 6 days a week. They were down to 1 day a week under the Biden administration. And so American steel production is back. We just knocked off Japan as a number 3 steel producer in the world. So these policies are kicking in big time.
Wow, that is very good. Meanwhile, the SBA is also rolling forward with the nationwide fraud crackdown, suspending more than 110,000 California borrowers suspected of committing over $8.5 billion in fraud. That's in addition to the agency's recent actions in Minnesota, where you saw nearly 7,000 borrowers worth roughly $440 million suspended. Kelly, what's going on? Where specifically is the fraud?
Well, Maria, this fraud relates to pandemic-era loan programs that were broadly defrauded, and it was widely reported that about $200 billion, as much as $200 billion, could have been fraudulently gained out of the $1.2 trillion that went out for small business lending. So it's breathtaking. What's even worse is the Biden administration swept it under the rug, started forgiving those fraudulent loans. We're going back and saying that will not stand. We're going to have accountability. There's going to be restitution and jail time for people who defraud hardworking taxpayers and honest, deserving small businesses. $8.6 billion minimally in California. That shows these socialist welfare state policies don't work. They attract criminals that want to defraud American citizens, and we're making sure that we draw the line on that.
Wow. All right. We'll be watching your work as always. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thanks, Maria.
All right, SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Senator Dave McCormick. Back in a minute.